Hello and welcome to my CS50 final project. My name is Harshvardhan Patel. I'm from London, England, and St. Ola's Grammar School. So first, decided to make a game called MuseGuesser. Uses Python and SQL, and the game works as shown on the screen. I only have 2 minutes, so I need to move a little bit quickly. So first, we initialize the database. As you can see, we make 4 different tables: one for the artist name, one for the song name, one for the username and password, and one for the score. And then at the bottom here, you can clearly see that it is used to test if all these databases were created properly, and we're just checking really so we don't make any mistakes in the future. Then here's a top score function where it prints the top 5 rows of scores, so it makes the game a little bit more competitive, so people can actually try really hard in the game to see if they actually made it on the top 5 leaderboard. The weird Y, as seen here, and here, is actually a computer error. It's actually just a backward slash. Um, Now it asks for the authentication. It asks if you're a new user or you've already got a registration. If you are not a new user, it will go to the next slide, validate login. So this is where it checks the username and password you inputted and checks if it already exists inside the database, which the username and password is there. So as you can see here, some usernames have already been inputted and passwords just to check it. And yeah, and that's what it does. If it does exist and the password is correct, it validates in welcome and goes into the next part of the code. Else, it's wrong, and it goes to the authentication. The authentication is back here. It will ask you if you're a new user again, and this time, if you say yes, you are a new user, it will go to the registration function. Here, the registration function, it prints the database again, and it makes a global function username. This is really important because it is going to be used in the whole code, and it gives you a username, gives you a new password, and it makes sure there's some validation techniques. So it can't be a zero value. It has to be between 4 and 20. It can't be too big either, and the password has to be between 7 and 20. Password has to be larger than the username, only because it makes it more secure. So there's no chance that people can easily guess your password. Connection with SQLite 3, basically when you create a database, it should make this little browsing thing, like where you find a database in your computer, and that's where it's referring to. And here is just some more validation, checking if the username exists or not. That's quite obvious you need that, because you can't copy someone's exact username in the database. It will just cause an error, and if it does already exist, it would ask to try again. And otherwise, it will just insert into the new database, and of course it will say registering new user successful. Here there is it carries on talking about it basically corresponds to the score and the user ID, and it just this is just there just to update the score, just in case that so that when you come back as an old user, it will tell you your previous score, which you already got in the previous time you played this game, so you can see if you want to try to beat us your old score, or just leave it if it's already on the top 5. And now we actually begin to the actual game. So we first prepare the game, and it makes a cursor in the database equal to the name of the artist and the name of the song respectively to the tables which is given to us in the database. And the cursor is really important for just making sure that we know what we're doing with the database and using the exact same values which we are dedicated to use. So in the main loop, we'll first start with score equals 0, because you don't want the score to equal to the old high score, otherwise it's just way too easy to get a really large score. And then here we choose making index a random integer. This is important because we want to choose a random song. We don't want the user to find a pattern in the what song they get and what artist they get. So the artist and the song has to be corresponding, otherwise it won't make any sense. And here was a little test statement. Don't worry about that. And then we make the new function words. Now we use the dot split function. It was really important because we needed to separate those two into substrings, otherwise it's way too difficult to manipulate them. And also there was some printing issues when we actually printed the values in a database. It was just really difficult to make the values of this make the song name itself and the artist name not look like really weird to the user, and make it really simple and easy to understand. The main issues was that it kept on printing like speech marks and dots and like random symbols really around each word, around each string. So we had to fix that using dot split and the following thing. And here is well, this is really the easy part of the code. Basically, for each round, you have an attempt number, and you make for the first attempt, it gives you guess the song for the artist, and we've already found out we already made artist the value of the random value of a database, and the song name guess string, we made the guess string the first letter of each word using these using this function here. And if you guess the correct song correctly, and you get three points. Says well done, you guessed right song on the first attempt on this. And if you get it wrong, it gives you another attempt. And if you guess it right that time, you only get one score, but you're still allowed to continue. But if you get it wrong, your both attempts to guess have failed, and you have lost the game. And as you see later, it will tell you your score, even if no matter what. So even if you got the question right, it'll tell you your score. And some people might not want to like carry on the game or like lose the score, so they might like stop there, be satisfied with the score, or they want to carry on and try to gain as a large score as possible. And no matter what, if the score is above 0, it will update the database with the username and score, and then finally break. And here is where it all starts, the initialization. So first, at the start of the game, is print welcome to Muse Guesser the game. Alright, I'm a bit over time, so I'll make this quick. Authentication, we already saw that in the first couple of slides, that it's just basically username and password. Then it says print hello username, and then it says explains what you do with the game, and it will explain the point system, and then it runs the function play the game, which is where the game starts, and then after the play the game function finishes, it will print top score, which will print the top 5, and then it will do print end of the game, thanks for playing, for the username if when you've eventually finished. And that's really about it. So thank you so much for listening, and I hope this video has been informative about my code, and thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. And